everyone. We must dare to think about unthinkable things. Because when things become unthinkable, thinking stops and action becomes mindless. Said by William Fulbright. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, dear participants. Welcome to the Leadership Mastery Series. I am Dr. Ashwati Rajan, the moderator for this session. I am an entrepreneur, a passionate public speaker, and an ardent learner. Once again, I welcome you all to this podcast series of Leadership Mastery Series. Before moving ahead, let us know our participants. Please type your name and your country's name in the chat box. Let us see from where you all are joining today. Let me see the responses. Please type your name and your country's name. We have Jackie from Barbados, Thomas from Canada, Olivic from Ontario, Canada, Henry, San Jose, Lillian from South Africa. We have Ajay Kumar from Hyderabad, India. We have Kavita from USA, Switzerland, Arizona, Hawaii, UAE, Canada. Oh my God, we have members joining us today from all across the globe. Thank you so much, dear friends. And something about this Leadership Mastery series. This is a podcast series in which experts and leaders from various walks of life inspire all of us through their wisdom and experiences. For the benefit of those who are joining us for the first time, let me tell you that we are here with an entire series focused on the ultimate global keynote challenge, which will be held on February the 4th, 2024. It's a global platform where you can step onto the virtual stage and showcase your prowess in oration. Many of you have been attending these sessions regularly, but if you have not registered yet, then do it today. The link will be shared in the chat. Hannah, please share the link in the chat box. And if you have already registered, then please check your emails. Your emails may land in the junk folder, so please check it because the PDFs and the links to the various videos will be only available to the registrants. And once you register, get a buddy. Do it with them. Introduce others to this challenge. And that is how we all will learn and grow together. To help you getting ready for the ultimate global keynote challenge, we are having these special sessions as part of the Leadership Mastery series to learn various skills needed to grow as a professional speaker. And today's session is part of that. Let me summarize the journey of this ultimate keynote challenge. The first step is the teaser submission. That's how you can kickstart your journey by sharing an effective 3-minute video that captures the essence of your chosen global issue. Make us sit up, take notice, and eagerly anticipate more. And you can submit these videos by December the 21st. Second step is the top 10 selection. From all the gripping entries, our expert panel will identify 10 standout voices to take the spotlight in the finals. And the top 10 will be announced live over a Zoom meeting on January the 7th. And then the third, last but not the least, the grand finale. If you are among the chosen 10, then you need to gear up to illuminate minds on February the 4th. Deliver an 18-minute TED-style keynote on the Zoom platform, captivating a global audience with your insights and solutions. I'm sure you all are excited by now and have lots and lots of doubts in your mind. Hold on, keep them coming, because today we are here with a special session the master class with Master Leadership Coach Brahm Memo, where you can ask and clarify all your doubts. They say that the power to question is the basis of all human progress. So get ready to progress. So it's time to invite the legendary personality, the Master Leadership Coach Brahm Memon. Brahm Memon is a creator and a pioneer, and it is very apparent in everything he does. He is a circuit breaker, one who disrupts convention and the status quo. He has set records in the Toastmasters world. The Global Leadership Impact Summit is his brainchild, and he is a constant inventor with a twist. He is an initiator, spending time on novel undertakings that stretch the boundaries of current thinking and practices. He sets benchmarks that are way ahead of the crowd, and the rest have to grow fast beyond their limitations to catch up. His coaching and training business is an example of his ingenuity, where things are so different that it leaves even the most seasoned leaders grasping for straws. He is a coach and trainer in the space of personal mastery and leadership. His interest lies in unleashing the creative potential of humanity. So, ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together and welcome the Master Coach Brahm Memon.
Thank you. Thank you, Aswati, for that wonderful introduction and getting everyone warmed up for this particular session. Really looking forward to this session. Can you all hear me well, Aswati? Am I all loud and clear?
Yes, you are.
Oh, wonderful. That's great. This is an exciting project. And as you all know, you are not limited to the size of the project that you can do in high performance leadership. As part of your level 5, if you are a Toastmaster here. If you're a non-Toastmaster, don't worry, we just do projects. I do large projects. Today, we are going to answer all your burning questions about the ultimate Keynote challenge. And the benchmarks that you really need. The benchmarks are the minimum requirements for you to really succeed. Now, whether you are chosen to be one of those top 50 and then the final 10, it doesn't really matter. What matters is that the effort that you're putting in to get to that minimum level of getting through, or of course, going as far as you can, which I suppose some of you will do that, and you will become one of those top 10. And that doesn't mean that, you have to have sophisticated equipment or videographers and so on. We can all do that at home on our laptop computers using the equipment that we already have, decent audio, some good lighting, and so on. And we've talked a lot about that, several sessions about that we've done already. The other thing is, of course, how do you start the ultimate global Keynote challenge? What is the first thing you got to do? Well, first thing you got to do is, of course, find the criteria. There's like 9 criteria or 9 things that you could talk about. It's not just any talk. Number one, it's got to be a TED-style conversation, the final keynote. 18 minutes is the standard for TED-style keynote speech. So you are limited to 18 minutes, not more than 18 minutes, not 18 minutes and 1 second, not 18 minutes and 30 seconds, if it is the final keynote that you're delivering at the final stage on February the 4th. But before you do that, of course, you're going to choose the 9 categories, which one you're going to go for, and then start putting it together, exactly what it is, and to then be able to put in your video, a 3-minute video for the judges. Now, there have been, guess how many registrations for this Keynote challenge? I mean, on the screen, you can see 53 people. Hannah had a challenge. She said there'll be 51 people here today. So there's 53. Hannah, you're very close. Thank you. And so 400 people have registered, as you can see, and only 51 have turned up. Will I get 400 videos or 3-minute video? No, I don't expect so. And as you know, we all Toastmasters and people are enthusiastic. They want to learn something. So they're learning. And unfortunately, they will not put in a video or take it further out. And I call it unfortunate because there's so much learning when you actually participate in the actual challenge as the way you're supposed to be participating and meet the minimum benchmarks, which means you are really learning something and putting it into practice. And even if you don't win in any sense at all, I mean, this is not about winning and losing, right? It is all about being a learner, a legendary learner, a learner that really learns and takes your speaking to the next level. That is why you are supposed to be in this keynote challenge, not to sort of win or to be on that stage in front of hundreds of people, maybe thousands of people on February the 4th. That shouldn't be the main purpose. The main purpose is, how can I become a keynote speaker? So now let's have a question from me. And then of course I'll take questions from you as we go along. But let's begin with the 3-minute video. We've talked a lot about the technology behind what you need to do, and I've already said it doesn't have to be sophisticated equipment, but it has to have decent lighting and, more importantly, the audio. Now, before you do your 3-minute video, remember what I said, and I've said this before, and if you're visiting for the first time here, it is to go practice before you start shooting your video, because it's only 3 minutes, right? That 18-minute of a keynote in 3 minutes, and we've gone through that about 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, exactly what those 6 points are in your 3-minute video. But before you shoot your video, how many times will you go practice? So anybody, how many times will you be practicing your video before you start shooting? Put it in the chat. Let me have a look. 5, 15, 100, Kavita, 100. Wow. Until you're comfortable as many times as possible. 5, Pearson. My first time is usually the most natural. 7, 50, 12. Good. And for each of you, of course, the answers would be different. At least 8 times, Clement, until you're comfortable, and so on. Lillian Wade. Oh, awesome. Great. And David Grinder. Restate the 6 points for the 3-minute. I didn't hear those. David, we will certainly do that. Thank you. Swati, please take note that we will have to go through the 6 points very quickly as to what they are and the PDF, right? So I will do that in a minute, but remind me, Swati, before going to the next point. Now, here's the thing. What I wanted to say is this. The world champion of public speaking, right? And I've interviewed them here on this show, and you probably have heard them elsewhere as well. They may have come to your district. You may have seen them on YouTube and so on. And when they are being interviewed, and here's the thing, that when they're interviewed, they asked sometimes, how many times did you practice that one speech, the 5 to 7 minute speech, to be able to win it? Some of them have said hundreds of times. They've gone to club after club after club and practiced and refined it until they've really gotten to the place where they've taken off everything unnecessary and just what makes an impact. Now, I don't expect you to be a world champion of public speaking in your 3-minute video. So I'll leave it to you how much you want to practice. Of course, it's your choice. And Adriana will be practicing for 100 times. Now, where can you go practice, by the way? Put it in the chat. Where is the best place to practice your 3-minute video if you want to practice? Mirror, Lillian. So Lillian will be practicing in front of Lillian. I mean, mirror, everywhere, mirror. Kavita, Toastmasters Club. Correct. Well, that's what I was actually looking for. I mean, of course, you can practice in front of your mirror if you want it. But here's the thing. And of course, if you're not a Toastmaster, then of course, you'll have to do it in front of a mirror. But if you're a Toastmaster, the great advantage of being a Toastmaster is what? We are on, a lot of clubs are still on Zoom or on hybrid meetings, which is on Zoom. And you can visit literally thousands of clubs, couldn't you? I mean, you don't have the time to visit thousands of clubs. But a world champion of public speaking takes time out and visits 100 clubs online, of course. because he doesn't have time to drive around 100 clubs. That's just too much. And so they go online and go practice the speech. And of course, they do, of course, if they want to go physically at the final convention, they actually do go to many clubs, 20, 25, 30 clubs near the area and further away from their area, and go practice there as well. So here's the thing. Go take your 3-minute speech and go to a club and tell this is a social speech. Your social speech in level 3 is 3 to 4 minutes, right? And say, I want to deliver a social speech for 3 minutes, exactly 3 minutes. Please time me. And then I want feedback, if possible, around robin feedback. That is the advantage of being a Toastmaster. And if you tell them why you're doing it, and a lot of Toastmaster clubs all over the world have heard of the Ultimate Global Keynote Challenge. Our marketing has been very, very effective. So a lot of people have heard of this particular challenge. So when you tell them that this is what you are doing, of course, you'll be helping my project by spreading the word if these people haven't heard, but they'll be so willing to sort of welcome you and to give you the feedback that you really need and the effective feedback that you need to make sure that those that you will meet those the 3-minute mark and that it's effective. And look, Kavita is looking for going to the 100 clubs already. And look, she is actually putting in her information that she wants to go to 100 clubs. So please invite her to your club if you have space or time, or just invite her. It's only 3 minutes. So invite and help each other, invite each other. And that brings me to the next point. Mary Gibbs, awesome, perfect. Yes, absolutely. So the other point is this. I would strongly suggest to get a buddy, right? And let me look. Yes, get a buddy, because here's the thing. As individuals, when we don't have an accountability partner, when we don't have somebody that is going to make us responsible for what we said and what we will do, it's very human, right? When we are so busy with our lives to say, okay, I'll go for it, but then you drop the ball. It's normal. But don't make it a normal for this particular thing. And also, so please get a buddy. Now, how many people do you know in your Toastmasters club that could be your buddy? Or in your area, or in your district, or in your division, or if nothing else, globally. And globally, here's a global audience over here. But also, if you go on Toastmasters International Facebook group, not the page, but group, there is a member you could post for or make a request of what you are doing and what you want as well. But the best thing is, of course, verbally with somebody that you already know. Call them, speak to them, meet with them, whatever it is you need to do, and get a buddy. I strongly recommend you get a buddy. Now, I've said there's 400 registrations, which was my dream. My dream was to have 400 registrations. Today, we stand at just 401 or 402. I haven't looked at the new numbers. They keep coming. And so we are going to come to a cutoff date and cut off the registrations, of course. So if you haven't registered yet, there's still time, but please only register if you're going to take action and really be in action, creating the video, preparing your keynote, and so on. Don't register and take up space. And so because when I close off, when I have the numbers right, then we are perhaps barring people from entering, those who really want to be in the Keynote Challenge. And again, remember, it's not about learning or it's not about winning or losing. It is about learning. And so please let us learn together. The reason why I am doing this is I want to become a much better keynote speaker. I speak globally everywhere, but I want to become better. And so how do I up my game is to involve 400 people with me to go on this journey. And as I teach and as I have people like Lance Miller come and do an interview session with me, which he did last week, and the video is available on YouTube. is we'll begin to learn more from each other and sharing our knowledge and so on. We will be having, if you remember, Craig Valentine was going to be here, I think it was 2-3 weeks ago, and he couldn't make it because he had a flu. It's the season for flu up here in North America. So he had a flu and couldn't come. We are negotiating with him to come. He said December the 4th, because that's the next time he can come. I'm trying to get him earlier. We are trying to negotiate. So it may not be a Monday if we do it an earlier date. It could be a Wednesday. We normally don't meet on a Wednesday, but if you guys want to sort of meet earlier with Craig Valentine, it would be a Wednesday, because then you will have a bit more time to finish preparing for your 3-minute video and your keynote, right? So here are the timelines again. By December the 21st, it's drop dead. We'll pull out all the registrations for actually the 3-minute video. For this actually getting into the keynote challenge itself, in the next week, we'll pull out that registration link as well. So if you are out and you haven't registered yet for the keynote challenge, you'll be out. You won't be able to get in. Then, of course, on December 31st, we'll pull out the link for registering your video, because, of course, we have a panel of international judges from all over the world. Most of them are experienced Toastmasters who teach evaluations and how to be a good speaker. So they are on the panel. And they will be briefed exactly what we are talking about here. They will be watching all these videos, so they know exactly the requirements for a keynote speech or the 3-minute video, or the 8 or 9, I think it's 9, the 9 criteria from which you have to choose one of your keynotes. So they'll be all familiar with that, and they'll be judging on that. They are not judging you on the basis of the International Speech Contest criteria. So though some of it will be there. There'll, of course, be voice control and eye contact, right? Which is so necessary to be effective as an online speaker. So they will be looking at some of those delivery things that you're doing as well. But as in terms of audience reception and so on, in the 3-minute video, they will not be able to do that, because it's just a 3-minute video. So you're speaking to a panel of judges, 15 judges. And then when you actually finally come and do your keynote speech on February the 4th, then you will be, of course, be speaking to hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, perhaps over 1,000 people. That is my goal. We'll see. I always do big goals, and sometimes I reach them, and sometimes I fall short, but it's a learning curve. We are all Toastmasters here, or at least most of us are. So you know what I'm saying. Okay, so now let's answer a couple of questions. Do you have any questions besides the question of what are those 6 points? Any questions? Any other questions so far about your keynote, where you're stuck? Just put them in the chat. Aswati will be moderating, and so on. So now let me just find out from my notes here where the 3-minute video teaser. And Aswati, what we will do today is perhaps release that link here, even though some of them have not registered in the keynote. We'll release that link here today. If I can find it, right, while I'm talking and looking for that link, we'll release it here today if I can find it very quickly, because I don't want to waste everybody's time. So, Swati, while I'm looking for my notes with that link, I just said, yeah, let's just release it now, because people have just come here. So let's have a look if I can find it or not. Okay, just give me a second. Bear with me. And like I said, today is just a personal conversation, one-on-one. So don't worry about that. Just be at ease. And here, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Even though you may have not registered in the keynote, here is the link, and you can download that PDF. And there's, of course, a video recording as well that goes with it. So, Aswati, is that visible for you in the chat?
Yes, it is.
Perfect. Okay. Now, what are people saying so far, Aswati, in the chat?
Yeah, we have few questions also. David Grinder wants to know about those 6 points.
Okay, I'll bring that up soon. And what else?
Another question by Prasad Shetty. How do you define keynote speech? So the specific points and characteristics to relate with. So
Okay.
Prasad, if you can come on video, I'll spotlight you.
So while you're looking for Prasad, let me just bring up very quickly. And so, I won't go through the whole thing. I've given you now the PDF. So if you look at the PDF, for those, the person was asking what are the points for the 3-minute video. So if you look at the PDF there, I think I've answered that question in the PDF rather than go through that whole thing again. And then there's a video as well, which is on our YouTube channel. And if you've registered, of course, you will be able to. I don't think I've really posted the video actually on the website for those who are registered. We'll post that the video to those who have registered, but it's also on YouTube somewhere. So we'll make that available in the next day or so as well. If you don't know where that is. Okay, so Prasad Shetty, if you can put on your video and unmute yourself.
Sure.
Okay, Prasad, what's the question?
Yeah. So my question to you is, how do you define a keynote speech? We have heard keynote speakers, but the exact definition and meaning of a keynote is still a little confusing to me. How would you define a keynote speech? Is it something which is the most important speech, or something which starts up an entire evening or a event? How would you call a keynote speech as something which defines it differently?
So, last week we went there with Lance Miller. So let me recap what we did with Lance Miller. And you can also, of course, go and watch that video, Prasad. Actually, we sent it to all the attendees, all the people who registered. So you probably had a link. If you have registered, you probably got a link, Shetty. If not, check your junk mail. We sent the link to that. But here's what a keynote is. And I did ask Lance, from his perspective, what a keynote is and what a training 1-hour session is and what a keynote 1-hour session is, and the difference. Training sessions, of course, to train a certain skill and to enhance the skill set of people. That's a training session, right? And it could be 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 days, whatever, depending on the sort of aspect you're talking about. Keynotes usually in a conference, they say that the keynote is the keynote that begins the conference and kicks off the conference. So it is an overview of what the conference is about specifically, just a general overview, or sometimes it's just an inspirational speech that gives the foundation to the conference, of getting the conference off to a good gear, where people are motivated, inspired, and now they want to hear all the other speakers. So that's what a keynote basically is in a conference setting. In this particular challenge, when we say it's the keynote, if you have ever heard and listened to a TED Talk style talk, they don't call it keynotes, they call it talks. Why we call it keynotes? Because, of course, we want all Toastmasters here to become good keynote speakers, right? And that's why we call it the keynote speech. And so when you have, and somebody did post the 9 criteria, thank you so much. I forget the name. If you scroll up on the chat, David Grinder. So he did put all the 9 criteria there. So you take any one of those criteria, and it is not a training session or anything. It is all about your personal experience and your passion about that. For example, implications of population growth. What will happen, right? So in a TED style talk, you state the problem, what the problem is, and what you see the world is evolving, and what you think we should really be doing, or where you think the world will be, and so on. So that is the keynote. It's not about, of course, training of how to control the population or what we should do and we're in danger, and how to train and do. So it's all, you only have 18 minutes, right? So it is all about speaking to a global problem, and here's what you think could be a solution, rather without it being like a training video of any sort. 18 minutes, go and watch a TED Talk. There's like some wonderful TED Talks. If you go to some the link in YouTube of the top 10 TED Talks ever given, there's some of them have got millions, 54, 60 million views, And watch those. There's about less than 10 of those that got so many views, like, right? 60, 70 million views, I think. No, I think 54 was the biggest or largest. Ken Robinson was one of them that had one of the largest views. He's an educator and talks about education. There I saw, see that? So if you're talking about education, go watch Ken Robinson. If you're talking about population growth or economic change, go watch a TED talk based on that particular conversation. But of course, don't copy, don't plagiarize. It has to be your talk and your passion. The judges will catch you if you're plagiarizing anybody. So I hope, Shetty, I've answered your question there about a keynote. There's no hard and fast definition as such, by the way, except the generalized definition that I'm giving you. Okay?
Sure. Well answered.
Thank you, Prasad. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now, I do see questions pouring in. Was it, sorry, David, was it you who was asking about sorry, getting my thoughts right? Today's informal, so don't worry about it. Did you look at the PDF, and will that PDF be suitable for you? And then you can later on go and watch the video on the requirements of the 3-minute video. That is the most important thing, because that gives you the entry into the possibility of being one of the 10 chosen people, right? To go and present at on the stage on February the 4th, virtual stage, of course. So I hope we've answered that for you with the PDF. Swati, okay, over to you. And any other questions? Oh, and another thing is, even though I'm looking at the chat, I'm really not monitoring it closely. So if you're sending a personal message to me, I might miss it. So please do send that message to Aswati, either personally, privately to Aswati, or publicly in the chat. I may not be able to see everything that's going on there. Okay, Aswati, over to you.
Hitesh wants to share something, so I'll spotlight him.
Okay.
Hitesh, if you can come on video, I'll spotlight you. Hitesh Parmar.
Okay, let's wait for him. Let's go to the next one while he's sorting out his technology, or he may have just moved away from his computer for a while.
Other people are asking about the PDF, so we are posting it. I don't see any other question. Okay, if we send a video, there is a question. It is about the video, 3-minute video.
And what's the actual question?
Yeah, so the question is by Lillian. If we send a video and
if you can spotlight Lillian, that'll be great. I think she's raised her hand a second ago. Let's have a conversation with Lillian here.
Okay.
Hello, everyone. It's great to be here. If we submit and we decide that we want to submit again, is it possible, or is one submission it, and it has to be perfect when you submit it? Or
correct.
Let us know.
So just one submission, please. If the judges see, because the judges have no way, you're going to fill in a Google form with your name, how old you are, have to be over 18, of course, which you are, and of course you will declare what criteria you've chosen, why you've chosen that criteria, what's the story behind it. You'll have to explain that in brief, about less than 200 words, and then the link to the video and where we will find it. And of course, the video has to be posted on either YouTube or Facebook with a hashtag. We've given you the hashtag. The hashtag is actually on the form itself, so you'll know on the form, and elsewhere as well on your web page. I believe the hashtag is there. So what hashtag you would attach to it. So once you submit that, and the judges don't have time to sort of go back and forth. Okay, here's a one submission now. Oh, we've already seen this video before. Why is there another submission? So just do one submission. They might reject it otherwise. I have no guarantee. I have no control over the judges, except the chief judge will tell them, here are the criteria. You and your judges panel, you decide, and you are I'm totally independent. They'll be independent, which is the way you'd want it anyways. So make sure that you practice your 3-minute speech, right? 3-minute video. When you shoot the video, ask, for more feedback of the actual video before you send it in. Just don't send it in and then, you said, I want to sort of change it. So
thank you for that.
make sure that everything is the way it is, because as you know, in Toastmasters International, when they send in the video at the regional level, they do a video speech at the regional level. They don't have a regional contest in person or hybrid. It is on video. They have to send in a video, and there should be one video of the actual speech that they did at the district level. And so the district level speech is recorded and then sent in for the regional. Are you familiar with that, Lillian? Are you a Toastmaster, Lillian?
Yes.
Yeah. So
Yes,
that's
I
what
am.
they do. Good. So that is what they do. And so with that in mind as well here, your 3-minute video has to be final. So make sure that it's correct. It's done well, whatever it is you need to do, ask for feedback. And then once you're satisfied, then send it in. So it gives you more of, critical thinking rather than, I missed that, or I missed that. So a lot of critical thinking will go into it, and a lot of feedback and evaluation will go into it before you send it in. And I strongly recommend that everyone get feedback of the first 3-minute practice and then of the video itself before you send it in. Thank you, Lillian, for that question. All right, Aswati, anything else? Anybody?
Yes, we have another question by Jacqueline.
If you can mute somebody there, somebody's got two. If you can mute everyone.
Jacqueline, if you can come on video, I will spotlight you.
I am. Thank you.
Jacqueline, do you have can you mute Jacqueline there? Jacqueline, you have 2 devices on currently. You'll have to switch off one device completely and take it out of this meeting so that we
I'm
can.
not. That's not me. I have one.
Oh, that's not you. Okay. So
Yeah, I
whoever
have
is got
muted
2
the other
devices,
person.
please release yourself from one device. Hi, Jacqueline. Sorry about that. I thought it may have been you.
No problem.
I just
Hi.
unmuted you, so and that's when
Yeah.
the noise happened.
Yeah. Good morning. I just wanted to find out, outside of the regular feedback that you're getting from your Toastmasters clubs and your peers, etc., after you've submitted the video, suppose, for example, you make the 10, you get any kind of evaluation from the organizers or anything like that, just as a precursor to the finals? No.
Anything, any feedback from the organizer means, it has to be at an arm's length, right? And so there's a legal term, right? So you'll have to do it independently of the organizers or of the judges or anybody involved with the Global Leadership Impact Summit. Like, there's about 8 or 9 people from my club, and I don't coach them. I don't even talk to them about it. And I said, not me. I can't talk to you, even though you're in my club, and I could possibly do that and train you and coach you. No, because it has to be fair, right? So even my club members will not get help from me directly about this particular thing. So it's like that.
Okay.
And so I would suggest strongly to get a good handle on and listen to all the videos, take real detailed notes, and have a buddy who's doing it with you. See, when you have a buddy and you're exchanging ideas with a buddy, and they're also creating the content and the video and going for the keynote speech, you will learn more than by yourself. Even though you may have hundreds of evaluations, when you have a buddy, the learning is exponential. Not only it makes you accountable and responsible to make sure you are in and actually do the work, but the learning itself is exponential. And if you've ever had a buddy. So I strongly suggest that you have a buddy instead. And that will really give you it'll be like rocket fuel. So, Jacqueline, what do you think, Jacqueline?
Yeah, thank you. Just trying to, I understand what you're saying with respect to not having any kind of bias or anything introduced. Yeah, and so on. I was just wondering if after you've gotten past that first phase, sort of like evaluation, in the competition. Normally, when we enter contests through whether it be at whatever level in Toastmasters, you get evaluations. So I was just wondering if you got that kind of support if you're going to be moving on. But I take the point with respect to the potential for bias. Yeah.
But since you asked the question, there may be people here from Toastmasters who may not know what you are saying or asking. I mean, it's not, sorry, use the right words for what you're asking. It is that, even in a contest, the judges or the chief judge or the contest chair will not give you an evaluation. You can ask an evaluation from many of the other participants, of course, with attendees, but there are certain people who will not give you an evaluation because they still need to remain independent, right? As well, even in a contest situation in Toastmasters. So like that.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. All the best.
Thank you, Jacqueline. I love those questions. Please keep them
You're
coming. Thank you so much.
Okay, we
thank
have
you,
another
Aswati,
question.
for putting in the link to the YouTube channel. So if you're going on to the YouTube channel, please subscribe to the channel and put on your notification, right? The usual thing. That would, of course, help this particular project as well. And when it gets up in the ratings and there's more viewers, then the possibility of people coming and viewing your video, because we'll be posting the top 50 videos on the website and making it public, so that people know, right? You've entered and here's the video, and that will be a great foundation for you to sort of go and speak outside of your club and build your professional portfolio if that is where you want to go. So, and it all helps if you, of course, like the YouTube channel, and then we get more viewers and so on and so forth. So the first 50 viewers, top 50 videos will be posted in our YouTube channel and on our website as well. So we'll ask you to send in your video to post into our channel if they're chosen, the top 50. And then, of course, the top 10 will actually be presenting the keynote. Okay, thank you, Aswati, for that link for the YouTube. Do we have any other questions?
Yes, we have a question. We have a question from Clemens Kembevu.
Clemens Kembevu, yeah? If you can put him on.
Yes.
Now, before Clemens says anything, I want everyone to know he's a member in Leadership Speak, which is my club, is our club, Leadership Speak. But, I'm not coaching Clemens, except the question that he has here, which is be fair and square, that I'll answer for him. Right, Clemens? I'm not coaching you. So go ahead.
Yes, thank you, Bram. Thank you.
Right.
I have a question. Do you need to be a subject expert on that subject that you're speaking on to present a keynote?
You don't have to be an expert, because an expert needs years and years of study, right? Malcolm Gladwell says 10,000 hours of study and understanding the subject. Last night I was with a very good friend of mine, and she was playing the violin. And I said, "Are you an expert?" And I could see that, she was just learning, right? And we talked about the 10,000 hours of putting in. And she said, "I'm probably at 2,000 hours right now. It'll take me another 10 years to get to the 10,000 hours before I can really play with passion." And so you don't have to be an expert, but you have to have the passion, the personal connection, the understanding of the subject. And you talk about it to your friends, or it's the burning issue that you're really passionate about. And without it, you actually being the complete total expert. If you're an expert, much better, sure, why not? But you don't have to be an expert, but you have to have a close relationship with the particular criteria that you choose. And we actually talked about it. The criteria for a TED Talk is, of course, having passionate personal connection, and you understand the subject well. It is not something that you said, "Oh, I'll pick up this subject and I'll research it and I'll just do." You won't be authentic enough and come across well, because these are technical subjects. It's not a storytelling, your personal storytelling and so on, right? Even your personal storytelling in Toastmasters is, you're an expert on the storytelling anyways. But it is all about not being an expert as much as it's about being familiar with the subject. You've been passionate about it. You followed it through. You read about it whenever you see an article or a book, right? You watch YouTube videos on it, like climate change. All the actually, I'm very good at all those because I've studied that for over more than 10, 13 years and actually talk and speak about it. as part of leadership growth and development as to how leadership should change. So I do that all the time, but I'm still not an expert at any of those. Though I've got a deep knowledge, and I can go and talk in corporations about social responsibility and so on, and corporate responsibility. So there you go. That's my answer to you, Clement.
All right, that's great. Thank you so much.
All right, Aswati.
Next is a question from Thomas Ferre.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, Ram. Do you hear me?
I can hear you, Thomas. Hey,
Excellent.
how are you doing? Oh, you are in the Francophone coming up next year in when is it, June or March or something? June. Yeah, I can see the June 15th. Yes, the conference for Francophone speakers.
Yeah. So I'm basically French, living in Canada, Quebec, but this is not the point of my question today. Thank you for organizing that. It's really appreciated. The question that I have for the 3 minutes is more about how to prepare it. It's can we use, I don't know, are you familiar with tools like OBS, and Ecamm?
Mm-hmm. Yes, I'm familiar with the Ecamm. Actually, I had purchased Ecamm a few years back, but I don't use Ecamm now. But yeah, absolutely, I'm familiar with the Ecamm. And OBS isn't as much good on Mac as it is for Windows, but yes, I am familiar with that. And absolutely, you can use any tools. Like right now, I'm using a tool, and it's not OBS or
Ecamm.
one of those tools that you just mentioned, Ecamm. I'm using what's called You heard that right. MMHMM. It's pronounced it. So this is what I'm using in my background. This is what's going on. And so that's what I'm using currently, even right now. And so use any tool that you want, but like I said, you won't be able to show a separate slideshow. The slideshow, if you want to show, should be behind you using OBS, Ecamm, whatever, should be behind you, not as a separate screen. Right?
Okay, because I was thinking about, just splitting, just like we can see on some videos on YouTube, you've got some people talking about something, and then we've got a third of the screen that is basically the picture or just the view of the presenter, and 2/3 of the screen are basically some points that are important to memorize.
Mm-hmm.
And I was thinking, is it acceptable to do it this way, or is it just on the background, like it is with this feature?
So you could do that, and I think it was 4 sessions ago, about a month ago, Kajitan Barreto had come and done a presentation on technology, and he was sitting on one side, and the other side was his slideshow. And if you want to do that, fine. I leave it to the judges how they want to judge based on that. Okay. And so, for example, I use. Let me just demonstrate what I use in right now for you. But of course, that comes behind me, like you just said, and you're familiar with it. But for the rest of the audience who are not familiar, so here's something that I do, right? And so it'll come behind me, and and then I'll change things like that, and it's behind me. And of course, you could be on one side and the whole thing is running on one side. That is fine too, how you want to do it. Or of course, you could be. Let me just put it here, and so it could be like this, right? And so now, as you can see, the screen is smaller, right? And it's still behind me, but yeah, I could do that, absolutely. Like most people have, that's how they talk when they're doing an online presentation with something behind them. I do a full screen. You could do a smaller screen, absolutely. So yes, you can do and improvise as much as you want, right? And so here's my presentation screen and whatever's going on in the presentation, right? And so this is what I could be doing, right?
Okay.
Or I could have it as a full screen. Up to you. And then it'll be up to the judges what they see and how they see it and how effective you are. It's up to the judges. But yes, absolutely. Yes.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Thank you. Thomas. All right, Ashwati, anything else?
Hi, I have a question. I don't know if you answered it. I'm sorry. I had some phone calls coming.
Yeah, please put up your hand so we know who it is, or tell us what your name is so we can spotlight you.
Hold on. I'm trying to find
If
my
you can
hand.
raise your virtual hands, I'll be able to
Right, just a
spotlight
minute.
you.
I'm trying to find my hand. Just I'm on my phone, so it's a little.
Is your video on? Just tell us, put your video on and tell us what your name is, and we'll spotlight you. Oh, there we go. Hi,
Yes.
Nadine.
Hi, just a minute. Hi, I'm sorry about that. And I'm sorry how I'm. My question is, so if we're given this 3 minutes, what is it called again?
3-minute video?
No, 3 minute speech.
Teaser video, yes.
Yes.
It's not, yeah.
Okay. Are we expected to be showing like slides in that video? Because I think that time is like so short. Or just say what we have to say.
Say what you have to say. You don't have to have slides. You don't have to have slides for the 18-minute keynote. You don't have to have anything except you. If you're speaking and you're authentic and you're able to use your voice and eye contact and so on without any slides, please, absolutely. Most of my speeches I do, 70% are with slides and the 30% are without slides. But then I am a trainer, so most of my speeches are training based. So that's why I have slides running all the time. But you don't have to have a slide, not even a single picture, nothing, absolutely nothing.
I do have a talk, 18 minutes, 20 minutes, with slides.
Awesome.
But my thought is, for the 3 minutes, I don't know, I've done it for 5-7 minutes with slides, but for the 3 minutes, I was just wondering, like, is that an expectation to put
No.
a video?
No, of course not. I mean, in a Toastmasters meeting or when you do your speech, is there an expectation that you will have slides?
No.
No, it's up to you, right?
Right.
In a huge conference, if you go and speak as a keynote speaker, is it necessary that you have a slide? No. Recommended for a big conference, however, because if the room is big and the 3,000-4,000 people, it's visually better to have that. But in a video setting where, the screen is right here and we see you full blown right on the screen, it's up to you, really. Even for an 18-minute speech or an hour speech, it's up to you what effect you want and how you want to be remembered and so on. And now whether you can have your visuals and yourself and what you're saying and your gestures all aligned and congruent to the message. It's all up to you, right?
Okay. One last question.
Sure, of course.
Regarding the background. So I remember there was one training which you did probably last month or so or the month before, about the green screen, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I was able to do the blue background as you had previously, the slide you had previously.
Yeah.
My thought is, in regards to the green screen, how could I improvise if I don't have like a stand or anything to stand up to put the green screen? Could I possibly put like if I'm using a PowerPoint, like because to do the blue screen, I created a PowerPoint picture. Like I put the blue color and just
Sure.
save that picture, right? So my thought is, for the green screen, could I could I put a green background before the blue and save it all as a picture, as one picture, to compensate for that green screen?
You should understand how green screens work. The green screen is basically the computer will replace the green color with any color that you want, or any background that you want, or any picture that you want. So currently, this is what the computer is doing. Actually, there's a green screen behind me, but the computer is taking that out and is putting this stuff in instead of the green screen, right? There's a green screen right there, but it's taking the green out. So that's what a green screen really is. So what you're saying is, I'm not understanding. The purpose of green screen is to take the green color out and put whatever you want instead overlay it, right? And there's a green screen, right? So now I've got this slide over here and so on.
Okay, and it's a program that's doing that. program?
No, Zoom does it too. It's not necessary to have. Zoom has a capability for having a green screen, and you can do that as well in the settings, right?
Mhm.
And if I let me see for you, it's where it says choose virtual background. In there at the bottom, you can say I have a green screen, and if you have a green screen, you actually touch it up and say this is the color of my green screen, and it'll take that green screen out and put the slide that you're showing instead on and overlay it. So yes, in Zoom or
I don't
Ecamm.
think you really understood my question. I understand all that you're saying to me right now. But
Sure.
what I'm asking is, if I don't have a physical green screen per se that's behind me like you do, like a stand where I could put a green sheet or whatever like that over it, or a green curtain. If I don't have that per se, like, and on Zoom, how could I?
No, you can't. You have to have a physical green screen.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. No. Thank you for your patience.
You're welcome. Thank you, Nadine.
Okay.
All right, Aswati. I think Elroy's got his hand up. Hello, Elroy. How are you?
Hi, Rams. I wanted to ask if you have to give the speech standing or you can give I stand on getting.
So it is a TED style keynote, right? And it's TED style means what? If you've seen a TED style presentation, a TED style, a TED talk, let's not say the TED style, a TED talk, you will see that the speaker is always standing, and they're standing on a small red circle. So they have to move within that circle. They can't move outside the circle. Our circle is this rectangle. So you've got to be within this rectangle. You've got to be standing and show you if you want to move, the movement should be within this, and your hand shouldn't disappear like I'm doing, okay. Or you go so far that your head sort of disappears and so on. So this is the rectangle you're going to use. You got to make sure your distance from the camera angle, and all that is consistent with being so that we see you properly and up to your navel at least, right? Or but not at this close. There's some people who do this, right? So don't do that.
Oh, is there anybody good in this?
Sorry, Elroy, your sounds disappeared.
I said, is there anybody sound? No,
Your sound is not good. I think it's your internet connection, Elroy, that the sound. You can switch off your video and ask the question.
Okay. Yeah, I am asking if there's anybody who can help.
Aswati, can you hear that? No, we can't hear you. Aswati?
Okay,
No.
I'll write it in the chat.
Sure, yeah, please do. Thank you.
Yeah,
Please write that. So while Elroy is putting that question, and we'll come back to that question. Aswati, who's the next one?
We have a question from Hannah Karanja.
Hannah
Yeah.
Karanja.
Karanja.
You can put Hannah Karanja on. Oh, since Elroy has his question there, let's look at that question first. And yeah, it's okay. Yeah, keep her spotlighted, Hannah. Just hang a second, Hannah, while I answer the Elroy's question. He says, are there resources who can help us get this video in the framework expected? We are not providing any resources, like I've said before. You will have to find your own resources of what you need. The training videos are all there. If you watch the training videos, if you do it with a buddy, if there's an expert that you can get help from, sure, by all means. But we will not provide any framework or any resource in any sense. All right, Elroy? So that we are sort of there's no bias at all from, you know, the organizers and so on. So like that. Hannah Karanja, are you from Nyanza province?
No, I'm from Central.
Central. Well, habari yako?
Salama sana.
Mhm. Asante.
So
Karibu.
I have a question about the green screen.
Sure.
We all must have a green screen, or can I just have a wall, a white wall behind me?
Anything that you have, a white wall is good. You don't have to go buy anything. So whatever wall you have, if you have a perfectly
Okay.
one colored wall, you can tell it can be a green screen. It's actually, let's call it a green screen. The actual technical term is chroma key. Chroma key means
Okay.
there's one plain color that the computer will remove and put anything else on that color and remove that color.
Okay.
So if you have a white wall and you want to remove that white wall and have a slide, make sure there's no white on the slide, or you're not wearing white yourself, right? So that it doesn't interfere with the color in the background.
Okay.
If you want to do that, or just have the white wall and speak with the white wall behind you, for sure.
Okay. Thank you. Because I'm just going to have a white wall behind me and just speak.
No problem.
Okay. Thank you.
Absolutely,
All
because
right,
you
thank
know,
you so much.
we have participants from all over the world, and they don't have this
Okay.
sophisticated equipment or the budgets to buy equipment and so on. And we don't expect anyone to use any equipment besides what they already have, right?
Awesome.
And hence,
Awesome.
therefore, it's not necessary to have a green screen or anything sophisticated or any technology or slides or whatever. As far as you are there, you're speaking to a subject that is core to you, you're passionate about it, and you really want to say something about it that is meaningful, and it's a global issue. So that's all you need.
Fantastic. Thank you. Thank you so
Karibu.
much.
Thank you very much. For those of you who are wondering what I was saying to Hannah in Swahili, I am from Kenya. She's from Kenya. So I was just saying, hello, how are you? All right. Aswati, what else? I think
Many members are not sure if they have registered, so they want to know if they have registered.
I don't know. We have got 4 registrations. I don't know whether you've registered or not. Did you get an email when you as soon as you registered? You were taken to a registration page, right? On the website, you're redirected to a page which told you all the information, all the videos are being posted there. Everything is being posted there for the registrants. Plus, you get on an ongoing basis emails every now and then about the keynote coming up. I mean, the challenge. And if you are not getting those emails, please look in your junk folder. So you are getting Zoom reminders and a separate email as well. If you think that you are not getting any of those and you were not redirected to the page that you were supposed to be redirected to, where all the participants are being redirected to, please register again. If you register with the same email, you know, the email is an automated system, right? The email automated system will recognize that you already registered, and so, you know, it won't give me a 2 emails, and it will again redirect you to the page, however, and will still send you an email to remind you about all the things that are going on. Okay, so if you think that you're not getting emails or any Zoom reminders, whatever, then do register. That means you have not really registered. But have you registered or not? I mean, how can I tell you, right? You have to be accountable, right, for whatever you're doing and whatever technology you have, right? And with all cases, as you all know, things land up in your junk folder. Always check your junk folder. I always do. And in my junk folder, because, you know, I had this email for so many years, there's so much junk coming in. I have to quickly every day scan, you know, and from time to time, I do find very important emails end up in the junk folder. That shouldn't be in the junk folder. So you have to check your spam or junk folder, whatever it's called, and make sure that your emails are not going in there. If you have a Google account and you have a Gmail and you're using some sort of you're going to the Gmail account, you may not see it in your inbox, but there's about 3 or 4 different types of inboxes. And since the email comes from Zoom or from an email provider that I use to send you emails, you'll find it in a separate folder. It's not a junk folder. It's not your inbox folder, but it's a separate folder. We'll ask Hitesh what that folder is called. Hitesh, do you know? Are you familiar with that folder? Hitesh is my go-to person when I'm stuck. Hitesh, are you there? He's got a couple of questions as well. But anyways, check if you have a Gmail account, make sure that you're checking all the folders besides the junk folder. There's about 3 or 4 different folders where your emails could end up besides the inbox. All right, Aswati, next.
Few members are asking for the registration link. So Hannah, if you can share the link once again, it will be great.
Hitesh is multitasking. All right, Hitesh. Hitesh is at work. No problem, Hitesh. No worries. We'll try and answer your questions while you are multitasking. Hey, Hannah, if you could put that link again for people to register if they have not registered or they want to make sure they have been registered. So when you go to this registration link and put in your email and your name and your email, you'll be redirected to another web page. Make sure that you copy that link to the web page because that's your go-to page for all the information, which is not public. It's only available for the registrants. Now, I would suggest that please don't register just to go to that page if you're not going to be in the contest. Please don't do that because you're taking up space because there'll be a cutoff time and date and number of entries in there. So please don't register if you're not interested in really being in the challenge. But if you're in the challenge, please go ahead and register. If you think you have forgotten or didn't know or whatever, please register and you'll be taken to that page just for the registrants, and the link has now been posted in the chat. Thank you, Hannah. Appreciate that. So go ahead, guys, and please register. And then those who didn't know whether they are registered or not, please. Thanks. Yeah. So please register right now while we are going on here during this session. Please register if you have any doubt. And see, and then ask me a question if you are not being redirected to another page or if you don't see something coming into your email. Okay, great. Hitesh says check your junk and spam folders. Absolutely right. And there's also another folder where. Thank you, Hitesh. So just follow Hitesh's comments there in the chat about marking yourself, marking these emails as safe and okay, and please to allow them to be in your inbox, or of course in a special folder, depending on what sort of tool you're using, what sort of software you're using to receive your Gmail account. Okay. All right, Aswati, anything else?
I don't see any more questions in the chat. But if anyone is having questions, please, you can raise your hands. I'll be spotlighting you.
I think there's some more comments coming in.
Yes. Okay. Yes, Fred, you can ask your question.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, great. Yeah, well, good. Yes, I dropped. Yes,
Fred,
I saw.
see you.
Yes, I see my camera.
Oh, there you go. Okay. There you
sorry,
go.
my
Thank
camera
you.
moved. I just dropped in because I came from work and was a little bit late in regards to the keynote, because it's a preparation on the keynote that's keynote speech. And how are we guided into that? Because of course I'm a Toastmaster, but I don't have any experience how to start up with a TED keynote speech. There was a lot of difference than a 3 minutes speech or a 5 minute speech at Toastmasters.
Correct. So you're asking a very broad question, which covers everything we've been talking about for the past few weeks. Fortunately, all the videos are available. Have you registered, Fred, for this challenge?
Yes, I've registered, but unfortunately, I have a lot of work going on. So I'm doing them in between, but I'm very interested into the keynote speech, of course. It's part of being
So
becoming.
the keynote speech is, of course, going to be an 18-minute speech, right? And before you, before you even start preparing for the 18 minutes, well, you should start preparing for the 18-minute speech based on the 9 criteria. You should also be preparing a 3-minute video for the judges to see whether you are going to be presenting the 18-minute speech to a global audience.
And
That
you need
18-minute speech that you're going to present, you have to be passionate about it. You don't have to be an expert about it. It's something very personal to you that you really want to talk about. And we did several videos on what that keynote would look like, what a TED style talk looks like. We have got videos on that, so you have a look at that. And also Lance Miller's last week's presentation, have a look at that. Craig Valentine will be coming in a couple of weeks' time. Have a look at that when he comes in. So all this information, there's so much information there, step by step. So you'll have to watch all those videos and make notes and so on. You still have time. You know, the cutoff date for sending in the video is December 21st. So hopefully I think we got already a few people sending in the videos. The last time I looked, just a few of them. But now that we are coming to the tail end of the training, most people will start sending in their videos in the next couple of weeks, because we'll be telling them to do that. And of course, we'll be closing this registration next week.
Great.
So there you go. I'm afraid you got a very broad question, so there's a lot to learn. So please watch the videos is my recommendation, Fred. And then, once you watch the recommendation, the videos, we will be having this Q&A sessions on an ongoing basis. So you can always come back and ask more specific questions about anything you need. We are always here for you.
Okay, great.
Thank you, Fred.
Okay, thank you.
My commitment is that everyone learns something from here and take away something from this particular project. And if possible, some of you will go on to become professional speakers. Some of you will actually just speak in your communities without being a professional speaker and become very good speakers. But you'll be more, of course, you are here because you want to speak in your corporations and your organizations that have where you are working and so on. But hopefully everyone will improve dramatically and do that outside in the real world, because you're not in Toastmasters to become a better Toastmaster. We all know that. You're only in Toastmasters to become better at what you do outside in the world. Hence this particular project. That 5 to 7 minute speech or the 20-minute speech in your level 5, how can you take it outside in the world, right? That is the challenge, basically. It is, how can you succeed outside in the world? We stand up in Toastmasters, we speak all the time, but we forget that the skills we are learning should be used outside. If you are not using those skills outside, then I would like to ask you, why are you in Toastmasters? Right? It's not really a social club. If you're only there for the social club, please do get engaged in the education program, because it's not really a social club to begin with, right? So I know there are some senior Toastmasters, I've done my DTM, I'm not going to speak, I'm just going to hang around. Don't do that. Be a good example and teach by doing it first, and then mentor other people as well. So if you're an experienced Toastmaster, I speak all the time. I've already done 6 levels this year, and I've been in Toastmasters for 27 years. And the reason why I've done 6 levels in 3 months, 3.5 months, is it 4 months now? I don't know. Is because I get invited all over the world, of course, to speak, and I speak a lot. And even in my club, besides our Saturday meetings, we have other meetings on Tuesdays and Thursdays where you can come and speak. These are not official club meetings, but we speak and we practice and we get better. So I suggest everyone do speak and get better. And as Darren Lacroix said, stage time. The more you're on stage, the better you will get. So speak consistently, not with intensity, but with consistency. All right, Kavita.
Actually, I just wanted to thank you and your team. You guys are giving us a great example how we can do a level community help in terms of really organizing something. So I really appreciate it, and thank you so much.
Mm-hmm. You're welcome, Kavita. And how's it going with your keynote? Anyways, are you preparing?
Oh, yes, I'm always preparing. I am all about, I always say that Toastmaster is the practice platform. So just go ahead.
Absolutely, it is.
Yeah, just go ahead and I invite you. I'm involved with 2 clubs, and we are always looking for speakers. So if you need a place to speak, I can share my information.
Wonderful. So those of you who want to go to Kavita's club, there you go. And I might even take up the challenge myself, Kavita, and come and speak at one of your clubs sometime. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you for being in the challenge. All right, good. I think we had Peterson had a question there, right? So did we answer that, Aswati?
Oh, he has shared some comments in the chat box.
Oh, based on the
I don't
question.
see
Okay.
any question.
Right. Okay,
Yeah,
good.
we have Hitesh.
Oh, all right, Hitesh. Jambo.
Right. So, Jambo, Zorisana. Quick question. I just wanted to see if you can even the playing field. Everyone's talking about backgrounds and stuff, and you choose your own, and some may be different. I just thought if we could work together and get some sort of background that is uniform, that carries the initiative and the flag for the keynote for this particular project that you're doing, so that everyone creates their video on that same background, and then even when the judges have to critique, it happens on the same sort of playing field, and it's an even playing field for the judges to put their votes in.
Yeah. Now, as you just saw, you may not because you're multitasking, is that what is Jacqueline Karanja? What was her name?
She had a white background she was talking about.
The white background.
I mean,
and so
if you don't have, my point here is, if you don't choose to have one, it's fine. But if you have to have one, then you would probably drive it towards a particular background that
It's a recommended background. So we will probably have 2 or 3 recommended backgrounds if you wish to use a background. So we could do that, absolutely. Just only as a recommendation.
It's so that it has a branding.
Consider.
It carries your branding. That's what I mean. I mean, I could choose CN Tower because I'm from Canada and Toronto, but doesn't mean that that's the one that I should be using. My point here is that if somebody is from Bangladesh is speaking, and then if their judges are going to critique us, and there's a bit of a background issue that my graphics may be better than his, I don't like to see that being the upper advantage. So if we use a background, then we should choose the ones that you have offered us to use, so that it becomes an even playing field for everyone.
So here's the thing: the judges will not be judging you based on how good your graphics are, as much as they are
perfect.
more
Okay,
question authenticity, how you're presenting, and all that.
Yeah. So that question is answered then.
Thank you. Thanks, Hitesh, for your participation. Okay. Aswati, are we coming to an end here tonight?
Yes, I think so. I don't see any more questions.
Dandy?
Peter
great.
Peterson, I think he wants to say something. I'll spotlight him.
Sure. Hello, Peter.
Hi.
All the way from Sweden. How are you?
Yeah, I'm at the National Museum of Technology and Science. You should be here. It's a wonderful place.
Awesome.
My question, I'm very curious how people learn. Not only my students, I'm interested of how every one of you learning today. So you can contact me if you want to share. That was just questions, or a question. And I hope I will. So you know what I will choose? Which topic? Brian, my question is actually, could you could you tell a little bit more about the third question, or is that too much? I have to interpret it myself also.
Didn't quite understand your question, Peterson. If you could please repeat that.
The question is about the evolving landscape of education.
Okay.
And what you mean with the evolving landscape. It could be AI, it could be some pedagogical methods.
I
But
leave,
it's fine if
I
you
will
can't
leave that
answer.
to you and Charlie, but here's
okay.
my take on evolving landscape of education.
I asked ChatGPT.
My take on let me just give you my take on evolving landscape of education. Is traditionally how we've been taught is always instructional, right? You go to a university, you sit in a class that the lecturer is at the front of the room. The professor will go through the lecture for an hour. You'll be put in study groups. You might be given an assignment by the professor, and then you go to the final exam. And so that's the normal procedure in a university normally, right? Currently. So it's all instructional. It's not experiential. It's not about discovery. It's not about hands-on. It's all about memorizing. It's all about looking at facts and figures and just getting in the information. So learning could be a bit different. As you know, some of the bigger organizations currently, like Microsoft, Google, and Tesla, and those big tech companies are saying, what do you really need more of is soft skills. Actually, they're not soft skills, they're hard skills, right? The ability, for example, what we learn in Toastmasters, the ability to stand up and speak with confidence, conviction, credibility, to think critically, have higher emotional intelligence, and things like that, self-awareness. Those are never taught anywhere, and those are the skills that are even more important because those are skills that are not easily taught. A skill like, if you're in a factory, turning a screw, you can be taught that very easily. Or if, any software. I go to large organizations sometimes, or used to as a consultant, and they would have different software, and they would just teach me basic steps because I had to sort of use the software to do a few things, and I never knew that software. I would learn it immediately, right? It was easy. But tell me how to be a better human being, how to be more empathic, how to have soft skills, how to communicate, interpersonal skills, and so on. Boom, we don't know that, right? So what is the changing landscape of education? What should it be if it's not there, and so on? So that's my idea. And if you listen to Ken Robinson's keynote speeches on TED Talk itself, you'll hear similar things. Current education system is very linear. That is almost like a factory. But they're just pushing out people to work in the economic system rather than free thinkers, who have autonomy. So that's my take on it, but that's my take. But you are in the education field. You're a teacher, so you would have a better viewpoint. And then, of course, my moderator, Aswati, is in education. So, Aswati, what's your viewpoint on education, changing landscape? Let's ask Aswati. She's actually a PhD. So, and she teaches teachers. So, Aswati, if you can spotlight yourself and then tell us what's your point of view.
Yes, hello, Peter. So, yes, my view is also something similar to what Brahm just mentioned. But one more thing which I very strongly believe is the teachers, the upskilling of teachers. And I feel that is something which we see a lacuna at certain places where teachers are not empowered enough to impart that value-based education to their students. So I see that way, that they have to be upskilled and upgraded every time whenever they are going and taking a simple class also. So I would like to work on that area. So that's my view on this, that if we can work on that and change that, I think the landscape and the education system will also have a better future. We will produce better citizens by providing better learning.
I
Yeah.
like that. Absolutely. Better citizens. Love it. Well, thank you, Pearson, and thank you, Aswati, for asking that. Hannah, if you could post the feedback form. So those who are here, we would like to hear from you how well we did. Now, I know feedback is a very difficult thing for us Toastmasters to give, right? No, it's not. You're an evaluator, right? As well. Not only that, but if you're interested in Leadership Speak, the club that I founded, and it's within its first year, last year was its very first year full of operation. First full year of operation last year, we became to be number 5 globally. We are a global phenomenon. It's an advanced club focused on leadership and leadership training, leadership development. That's our niche. And if you want to be a self-directed leader and really stand out as a leader and speak with confidence, conviction, and credibility, then please sign in this evaluation form that Hannah is about to post in the chat, as well as, of course, give us an evaluation of how well we are doing today in this particular session, or your thoughts about the whole keynote challenge that you've been in, and so on. So Hannah, you can ask your question as well as if you can post the link.
I will do so. Could you please post the topics of the keynote speeches, global keynote speeches?
Yeah, they're available on the website.
Oh, are they? Okay.
I don't have it right in front of me.
I'll post the.
So that's the website.
Now.
I posted the website again. If you click the website, you'll see right at the top. We're just a little bit under. Scroll down a little bit below the video at the top. You'll see all the 9 criteria being listed there. Okay. So when do we meet at Leadership Speak? Thank you, Nadine, for that question. We meet on Saturdays currently because we've changed the time in North America. Normally we meet in summertime and well, spring, summer, and fall. We meet at 9:30 a.m. In wintertime, which is from November to March, well, and a bit of spring, when times change and we fall back, we meet at 8:30 a.m. Because we have a lot of members from other parts of the world that don't change time. We change our time to accommodate them. We are situated in District 86, which is in Canada, Ontario, which is next to Toronto, just outside of Toronto. This is the district. This is where I am. I live in Mississauga, a city next to Toronto. I'm the club founder. And we, from March to November, we meet at 9:30 a.m. Eastern time. And from November to March, 8:30 a.m. so that other people are all over the world don't have to change time. We have members from 18 different countries spanning 12 time zones. So we, and here's the map. There you go. Those are all the flags. So this is our club background that we use, one of them. And as you can see, there are 18 flags. We just added 2 flags this week, St. Lucia and Zimbabwe. And so on. If you live in Buffalo, so yeah, you'll follow. Right now, you'll come at 8:30 to 10:30, or it's actually 10:45. Our meeting's about 2.25 hours to 3 hours long. Yeah, because we are training on leadership. So our meetings are long. We are really intense, focused on totally how to develop yourself as a leader. And so that's why our meetings are a bit longer, because we've got 20-minute speeches, we've got panel discussions, sometimes we've got 6 speakers as well. We don't have table topics because we are focused only on leadership training and how you speak as a leader. So no table topics. So if you're living in Buffalo and you've done level 3 of pathways, by all means, Nadine, please fill in that form. Hannah has just put in that link there. Thank you, Hannah, much appreciated. And fill in that form, either give us feedback or, of course, if you want to join the club, put in your name and so on. If you have a conflict with the time, of course, then you can be a member. Thank you, Nadine. But if you can find a way around it, we meet every week. We don't meet every other week. We meet each and every week. We meet for 51 weeks a year. Why not the 52nd week? Well, that's around New Year's time. That is the only time we close, is around New Year's time, because that's a global holiday. Even Christmas is not a global holiday from some parts of the world. So we still meet close to Christmas time. Like this year, December the 23rd, we are meeting because there'll be people from India and Middle East, and they don't celebrate Christmas and they want to be at a meeting. So we do have meetings for 51 weeks a year. If your club is meeting every other week, you can come and join and come every other week to this club. So there you go. Please fill in that form. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming today. We'll end this session. We run the sessions for an hour and a half. It's been an hour and a half now. So I didn't think that we would be running for an hour and a half today, but we did. So thank you all for asking those wonderful questions. And before I say goodbye, any last questions burning questions that you may have been shy of asking? If you really need to ask, please do ask now. I'll still be here. I'll switch off the recording, but I'll still be here for a while, informally totally. So you won't be recorded if you're afraid of being recorded. So, oh, Clemens. All right. Clemens, go ahead.
The last time, I think I heard during the training that you'll be sending some PDFs. Is it some of the training? Have you started sending them? Because I haven't received any.
Sorry, your voice is getting a bit muffled and I can't quite hear. Are you talking about the PDF? Clemens?
Last time you said you will send some PDFs of those training. Have you sent any email so far?
We just posted that in the chat. I think we missed out sending the actual link to the PDF in the email. We will do that as well this week. But we posted this several times in our chats, and today we are posting it even for those who are not registered to have a look. Manju, thank you so much. I think Manju is saying thank you here. So thank you, Manju. And you will be able to have the recording. If you're registered for the YouTube channel, Manju, you'll be able to see this recording on the YouTube channel. And oh, there you go. If you look in the chat, the PDF is not being posted. This PDF is all about what your 3-minute video should be about. These are 6 pointers, and we did that in detail on the videos. This is also on the video. What these 6 pointers are. What the judges. This is actually one of the judging criteria, by the way. This PDF form, the 6 criteria. The judges will be looking at those 6 pointers. Besides all the other Toastmasters things like gestures, voice control, eye contact. The normal presence, how you're presenting yourself, right? So, which is key. It is very important how you're presenting yourself. Doesn't have to be sophisticated equipment, of course. Doesn't have to be sophisticated lighting, but how you stand, how you present, how you're being seen and how you're being heard is important as well. So, all right, Clement.
All right. Clemens. Thank you.
You're welcome. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I will still be here. I'm just switching off.